does not decide he needs to kidnap my arm the entire time, then maybe we'll get somewhere. And any treats given out tonight will be given to 2 people, Doug and Artemis, and let's go. Let's see what we see, and we'll see if we'll see how things go, and we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna cut all of this off. The dogs have found a box that they want to play with, in case you're wondering what's going on in the background. Yeah, that's what's going on. Alright, Douglas, you're gonna make this quite difficult. Ever blooming. Welcome back. It's good to see you both again. Hold your enthusiasm, innkeeper. We bring tales of disaster. I don't mind a little disaster in my tales. After all, you tell them so well. She really does. As do you, Clay. Thank you. How my stories are as good as your drinks. They are to me. Speaking of which, can I offer you a drink in exchange for a little insight into your disasters? That'd be great. Something that feels strong and magic-y, right? You remembered. Yes, that one, please. Coming right up. What is this, child? Go on. There you go. The dog has departed my lap. Alright. Strength. Cursed coffee. I mean, this will work. Two brain, 1 speed, 3 strength. Saber Fang would work. So would Thunder Stage. Let's go with Thunder Stage. Hey Josh, I see you lurking. Good Andu. Oh, one more. Something strong and tasty, but hopefully not disastrous. Very tasty. Very strong. You've really got the best drinks around. Happy to hear that, Clay. Dia, you're bursting at the seams. How are the archives? Fun! Were they? Mayhaps. The bleak stalkers were. Bleak? Cute. Cute? Very. Jade told us where to find the entrance to the archives, but when we got there, we found it surrounded by bleak stalkers. They were quite numerous, and so shaped. I decided to ask them if they could let us through, and I thought he might need some help with that. So I called on your honey flowers, and I extended my divine light to him. It made him glow softly, and they all flocked to him like moths to a gentle flame. Did you know they have velvet wings they can fold into their bodies? I didn't. That's fascinating. They were so cuddly and showed off their crawling skills in exchange for carrots. I asked them if they'd like to be our tour guides, and they were so excited. They'd never been tour guides before, and at first they thought it'd involve eating people. I might have acted a bit standoffish when trying to correct their misconception. Clay was able to convey the message much better. He's very good at explaining things. I think he really understands people, and that helps him meet them where they're at. I try to. Everyone has their own way of understanding things. I think that's beautiful. I envy your empathic approach to life, Clay. Thank you. But you've got your own strengths. Like how you're a master of strategy, or how you're so good at making people feel safe. I suppose we make a great team. The best, I might say. We made a great team with the police stalkers, too. They led us right inside the archives, which were huge. Large parts of the Everbloom had collapsed, but even the explorable sections were unbelievably spacious. We had no time for a proper tour, unfortunately. We had to make it back in time for the barbecue, after all. That meant we had to be efficient during our search, even though we did take a break to admire the artist's hall the creatures excitedly led us to. Whether in a bottle. We found abandoned pottery equipment that distracted us a little too much. Using more time than was perhaps appropriate, we molded tiny versions of the little critters as a gift to them. They loved them. Afterwards, we split up to cover more ground. Each of us was guided by a group of police stalkers. A dangerous choice. That's when the monsters get you. That's what Clay said. So I enchanted the friendship bracelets. That way, they would always sense in which direction the other person was located. So neither of us would get lost. It was so smart. It was very useful. I see you kept yours on. I did. They really helped with navigating around the archives, too. It's a beautiful place, you know. I mean, everything's overgrown with vines or withered and full of termites. But we could still tell how much care had gone into building it. Some of the tree branches still had leaves on them, and I saw a couple of stubborn lotus daisies trying to break through around the rocks. I taught the bleak stalkers how to water them. They loved drinking out of the watering can. But they also enjoyed sharing their water with the lotus daisies. Hopefully they'll go stronger again soon. What a shame all that effort that went into building the archives was for nothing. But it wasn't. I mean, it meant something to someone once. And I I could still feel that love in it, even during our visit. Maybe it'll even bloom again. It's called the Everbloom, right? Like forever? I wonder who named it. We should go back sometime and see if we can find any information about the archivists. I bet they knew some great drinking games. Perhaps we should honor their contributions by studying the knowledge they left behind. Why not both? They should be people first, symbols second. Oh, yes, I guess both would work too. Good idea, Clay. What else did you find in the archives? Besides friends and the beauty and horrors of time, I mean. I got a little distracted when I asked our new friends to point me towards the cooking section. It was so vast. I found so many new bread recipes I can't wait to try out. I also found something for you. For me? Yes, a recipe from a book on mixology. First, I thought about taking the whole thing along, but it was a giant tome, and the bleak stalkers were so attached to it. So I ripped out the page that looked the most interesting. We thought it would fit your repertoire. I think it does. Thank you very much. Last Whisper. The Last Whisper stealths itself into your heart. It provides a boost to strength and speed and has a tough, if somewhat bitter aftertaste that will awaken your senses. Sometimes all you need is the right balance between elegance and brute force, and the correct translation of an ancient recipe. As for me, I asked them to lead me towards dangerous knowledge and soon found myself in a hidden study. The bleak stalkers didn't want to go inside, like they were scared of its contents. So I rewarded them with some treats and... Ken, hi! We're talking about how cute bleak stalkers are. Apparently there are these monsters in the game called bleak stalkers, and apparently they're adorable. That's about as much as I know, so that's about as much as you know. So I rewarded them with some treats and ventured inside alone. Sounds like you got along with them rather well. I grew quite attached. Perhaps I would even call them my favorite animals. That means we solved your favorite animal quest. We did. They almost made me want to stay and waste more time. Isn't that strange? That works for me, Ken. I think this is very good background noise. Not in the slightest. Time well spent is time never wasted. Perhaps you're right. Anyhow, the study. It was a complete mess, full of scriptures, scrolls, and written ramblings that would be forbidden these days. A little exciting. And worrying. The papers I was able to translate spoke of the apocalypse, of the end of it all. There was research on the roots of the Aether Tree and how to unbind them, written with shaking hands and fading ink. Was this more the scholarly or mad scientist type of research? Hard to tell. The lines tend to blur with blasphemy. Do you know a lot about the Aether Tree? Because Tia gave me a whole presentation about it. I wouldn't mind a refresher. It's a giant tree. Good start. A world tree. That means our world rests on it. In it. Around it? Somewhere? In it, mostly. Depends on who you ask. The dragons guard the tree. Because they created it? Maybe, but definitely because they care for us. And since we live in it, we should keep existing as it does now. Because no one wants their house to crumble. A lot of people would get hurt if something happened to everyone's home. Clay. Even a big guy like him needs a bit of encouragement and positive reinforcement sometimes. I think he and Miss Anwar are definitely a good team. They even have matching friendship bracelets. Now they just have to wear them. Clay also loves good food and would never want to miss a delicious barbecue. That's true, but luckily for us, damaging the Aether Tree isn't possible. It's larger than we could ever imagine. To us, it's really more of a concept than a tree. And the dragons defend it. Despite their oath of neutrality, they're no easy foes. There is one way. The sigils of Alcahest. The what now? The sigils of Alcahest. They're the key to destroying the Aether Tree, according to the scrolls I studied under the archive's candlelight. Are they some sort of spell? More of a manual to a self-fulfilling prophecy? A way of breaking the cosmos in accordance with its own rules. For the tree to crumble, its foundation must be fractured. The 5 sigils of Alcahest represent the 5 dragons, each of which must be damaged to topple our world's balance. Only then can our cosmos reshape itself. The scrolls spoke of experiments for creating a sigil. Unsuccessful experiments. That's reassuring. Not quite. They were only unsuccessful back then. Next to the notes of old, I found others written on cleaner, newer parchment with unfaded ink. Much of it was incomprehensible, written in languages I've never seen before. But various sketches of whales caught my eye, as did altered frostbite scrolls. That sounds unsettlingly familiar. I fear that the starfall broke a sigil. By ripping holes in Cassiopeia's wings, it destabilized her flight. If she's damaged any further, time could be set into disarray. Meanwhile, the tsunami, like I heard, didn't just plague the archives. The waves broke down the barriers between the primordial sea and the twilight chasm in ways we've never seen before. So that's 2 broken sigils? That's not good. What an incredible understatement. To witness one such sigil fracture would be anxiety-inducing enough. Knowing it has happened to 2 will keep me up for many nights. It's not 2, it's 3. 3? Alongside the notes I found an old map with fresh markings. All the names were outdated, but the intention was clear. Marked were the 5 interplanar portals. 30 years ago, their sudden disappearance tore fissures into Gaia. I believe they were the first sigil. Bad, right? Very. Who could have done this? I don't know. And why, of all things? If the Aether Tree collapsed, or even shifted from its perfect balance... Hey, Lumi! The destruction would end us all. Who would want that? No one thinking rationally, that's for sure. They might have a good reason for it. Maybe we can talk them out of it? I doubt it. Me too. Whoever it may be that's causing this, they only have 2 sigils left. Would be quite bad, right? What? I will reluctantly take your love. I love you too. Lumi, did I forward you what happened when we were trying to leave Denver on Monday? Don't they say that waking the Elder Dragon will start the apocalypse? They do. I feel like there's maybe too many ways to start the apocalypse. Maybe they're all connected, and waking will break the last sigil. Oh, you swallow water wrong. Although, I'd like to think that breaking all the sigils is indeed impossible. Oh? You also have a post you did not send to me? Because it's impossible to reach Twat in the spirit realm, correct? It's not exactly impossible. One can make it to the spirit dragon via the astral sea at the dawn of the dying moon. That's in 5 days, right? Yes, but worry not. To reach such a specific location within the astral realm, very specific rituals are necessary. And Gaia's portal to Cassiopeia is indispensable. Said portal is located in and safely protected by the Aperture, the stronghold of the Order of Starlight. And its rituals must be performed with outstanding accuracy to withstand the treacherous astral currents. Only the highest ranking members of the Order are privy to this knowledge. And I guarantee you, all of us would rather die than aid in the destruction of this world. If the rest of them are half as stubborn as you are, I think we're well protected. Exactly. That's good then. The rest is worse. Breaking the signals. Yeah, apparently. You know what it is? It's Mercury fucking retrograde. What's bad is that we don't know who's behind this. Or why, by the dragons in the endless horizon, anyone would desire something so vile. I can already sense your next quest. But can I offer you a drink first? Your throat must be dry from all that exposition. I wouldn't say no to a drink. Perhaps something that will keep my mind intact, defended from lunacy? I feel like I'm going mad. Say no more. Alright, so high defense, huh? So we got Steel Tonic. First Snow. I'm leaning towards Steel Tonic, given the situation. Saberfang is a possibility. Let's go with Saberfang, because I don't think I've used that one yet. Oh, got that already. Also, around 50% or higher of the dealers from Denver are reporting COVID. However, I have so far been testing negative. A delicious defense against the absurdity of evil plots. Thank you. This makes me feel a little less conspiratorial. I needed a breather. You know what else would make for a great breather? Fable's barbecue? Exactly. You're right. That would be quite pleasant right now. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think the barbecue is happening today. Fable hasn't returned from their quest yet. Oh. What quest are they on? Finding Melina. But we just saw Melly on the way here. Perhaps they found another quest while out. Heroism can be infectious like that. Keep, what kind of drink did you mix them? None. Maybe we should go look for them. Maybe so. Please do. No one has seen them in days. And the last thing I said to them, I'd hate for those words to stay the last. Please help me find them. Of course. I'm sure they could slay any monsters without us, but some extra hands couldn't hurt. But you'll have to deliver your apologies yourself. I'll slay that beast when it comes to it. Very well. But first, we must solve our urgent Sigil problem. I feel like we're just missing one piece. A piece of what? I'd like to order my usual cake, innkeeper. I don't serve cake. Never have. Oh! Maybe you should. Another delicious delicacy would be... also still no blood. Oh... the sorrow I'm feeling almost equals the grief I felt after the vampire glitter competition of 1389. Can we all pause for a moment to appreciate Kyle? Kyle is definitely one of my favorite characters of the entire game. Oh, I had run out of glitter. I could serve you one of my usual drinks to alleviate some of that heartache. That would be splendid. I'd like something... Yes, Kyle does come with his very own slime. It has been with him since day one. It, I think, is trying to eat him, but we're not really sure. I'd like something to enhance my immortal strength. No shopping bag shall hold me back today. I'll see what I can do. Alright. No shopping bags shall hold him back today. So we want Sailor's Courage, Cursed Coffee. Oh, here we go. We'll just give him Sailor's Courage. He doesn't have common sense anyways, so it'll work out. Alright. Yeah, I think Golden Feather is what we're going with. Do I want to give him fire resistance or haste? Haste is good for shopping. Yeah? Well, that's good. I probably need one eventually, but I'm not super fussed up about it. I am sorry your Monday went poorly. As you can see, my Monday also went poorly. Luckily, we had some local friends, so limping around Denver with a dying car was not necessarily as scary as it could have been. But not ideal either. Here, with all the strength of a raging fire. Oh my goodness, that was a reference. Thank you, dear innkeeper. My blood is boiling with euphoria. Any particular reason for your shopping trip? A very particular one, dear innkeeper. It is a matter of life or death. I must head out to purchase this wondrous sustenance known as comfort food immediately. Do you know what comfort food is? I haven't the slightest idea, but it is rumored to restore you mortals back to full health. I'm afraid Rhea will perish should she not receive it. That sounds serious. Has she fallen ill? A fatal case of something she called being in the zone. I assume it is highly dangerous. She's refused to move away from a drawing board for over a year now. Over a year, huh, Kyle? She even threw me out of the room upstairs when I offered her a blood pellet snack. How will her body handle another year without food? I have some good news for you. Rhea hasn't been sketching for a year. You guys checked in yesterday. How fortunate! And as for your legendary item, you should ask her about it. Generally, everyone has a different idea of what they consider comfort food. How wondrous! Though something tells me you should give her some time before you go back upstairs to ask. Why? Call it intuition. I don't think intuition is a very good name, innkeeper. Want to help me find a better one? Of course! I'll think of one before the next 80 years are up. Thank you. I shall remain for a while, and once I have acquired the correct comfort food, I will make sure my friend eats every last bite. Like a vampiric mother hen to a vampiric chick. I didn't know there were vampire chickens. There aren't. Do you know that for certain? Yes. I could have sworn the ones at my family's estate had fangs. Chickens can't develop teeth. Oh ho ho, you say. They are dinosaurs after all. And here I thought we were comrades in blood hunger. Chickens are still very fascinating all on their own. Did you know they have very colorful dreams? Oh, that's nice. I once helped a wild hen with her dream journal. I'll introduce you to sometimes. My favorite thing about chickens is that they purr when they're happy. What charming creatures! The more I learn, the more they remind me of vampires. So simple, sweet, and ferocious, yet their origin harbors one of the greatest mysteries of life. Yeah, I think it's about time for a new chair then. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The egg? I would say the chicken. Something evolved into a chicken and laid the first egg, would be my guess. Not going to weigh in? I am intellectually withdrawing myself from this conversation. But unlike this unsolved mystery, I do know how vampires were created. Would you mind elaborating? Weren't you intellectually withdrawing? As a cleric of Cassiopeia, humility is a lifelong objective that I strive towards. As such, I must admit when I need to concede words spoken in haste. Which would be now, I suppose. Please, Kyle, if you wouldn't mind expanding on what you just said. Her bravery verges on obsession. Maybe it's just to stroke her own ego. She presumably has never taken a break in her whole life and probably never will. But lately, she seems to be warming up to others. Out of all the cute animals she could have chosen to love, she's particularly fond of bleak stalkers. Certainly! It must have been over 5 centuries ago when a scholar stole some of the immortal blood of the dragons. The scholar offered it to Queen Annabeth, who would become the vampire's monarch. I have never heard of Queen Annabeth. I think that was just the plot of a really challenging board game, Kyle. Oh, you're right! So then, Mike was real after all? Mike? Yes, it's all coming back to me now. The first vampire that walked this world was the infamous Michael, but most of us call him Mike. He had a very close connection to the spirit dragon in his domain. Eventually, Mike struck a deal with Twat. In exchange for guarding the dragon's realm, he would get to live forever. But that didn't work out, I guess. Old Mike didn't read the fine print. The spirit dragon turned out to be a trickster. Twat turned him into a new form of undead creature, invulnerable to age and disease, but still weak to the blade. Blood was the only thing he could stomach to consume, and with time, even sunlight became intolerable. Mike was no longer welcome among the living, but the dead didn't want him either. And that's how the first vampire was created. Fascinating. There is so little known about the spirit dragon in his realm. Kyle, just how do you possess knowledge that's considered ancient by today's standards? What knowledge? The knowledge you just told us about? Ah! I stumbled upon it in a grimoire I bought the other day at the local bookstore. Nope, that was the Vampire Romance book Kara recommended to you. Try again. But of course! Dear Evelyn was such a history fanatic, how could I not pick up on a few stories? That was one of her favorites. I still dream of her deathly beautiful countenance as she narrated tales until the intruders stopped screaming. She always told the story of her progenitor, Mike, so softly. She would cradle a vial of his blood, and her tone would turn so reverent. A secret to share just with me, she would say. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to break the last oath between us as well. I'm sure we can help you keep this a secret, right? A secret between new friends. If secrecy is how we can repay you for sharing this with us, so be it. Since you seem to have been very close to her, I wanted to let you know. We traveled past Marrow Castle on our way back. It looked awfully damaged. The destruction looked so fresh, if only we had passed by earlier. Clay even spotted a heavily armored silhouette a short distance away from what remained of the castle walls. We hurried over as quickly as possible, but the shadow was gone by the time we got there. As it was, only rubble remained. Was my dear Evelyn unharmed? We don't know. The castle looked abandoned, like a ruin. My Evelyn, what horrid fiend could have inflicted such damage? She must have fought back fiercely. May her opponents suffer twice the damage they inflicted upon her. What I wouldn't give to know her safe. I think I need to go ask Rhea about her comfort food. Despite his short and often fragmented memory, his extensive knowledge of the origin of all vampires, which could be expected when you're a vampire yourself, I suppose, even though he still seems to be caught up in his long-lost marriage, he really took a liking to the person who dug him up. Let's give him some time to come to terms with what he just learned. The doggos. They would like to inform you that nobody has redeemed treats for them yet. Unionize! That is the achievement I just earned. Treats for Artemis! That means treats for dogs too! Are you ready, guys? We got some duck here. Some duck treats for Pennsylvania. Duck, duck, duck. Duck, duck, goose. Up, up. Good babies. You're such a good babies. They like Komodo dragons. If Komodo dragons really like each other, they can eat around each other and share food. And the doggos, they can share food. Yes, for all treats redeemed tonight, 2 doggos get food instead of just 1, because Artemis's BFF Doug is here. Greetings, brave adventurers. Great morrow, innkeeper. There seem to be a few more bones than usual with you, Scully. Is there? I'm unsure. I suddenly feel like I'm seeing a bug where Scully's spine ends. You observe correctly, my friend. They are wonderful parting gifts, aren't they? Sure are. Care to bring me up to speed, Care? Nah, you'll survive being left hanging for a few more minutes. You're bullying me. You're bullying your innkeeper, Care. Patience, young innkeep. Scully has been waiting to tell you this story since we left the Pale Woods. I will try to compose myself. This tale deserves the cracking of every last one of my rhetorical knuckles. Let us recount our tale properly, Dame Carolyn. Hang on. I think I could go for one of your drinks first. That can be arranged. Something to keep my strength up. I didn't get to flex my muscles much during our quest. A good one might net you a story. No pressure, Care. This is a long day. Some of these days are certainly longer than others. No, you just had them. You'll have to wait. Strength. She hasn't had the cursed coffee yet, I don't think. I'm gonna go for the cursed coffee. She hasn't had that yet. Great drink for a great story. Aren't you lucky? I'd like to think luck has nothing to do with it. Perhaps not. I might have something else to cheer you up. Oh? Melly's back. Oh! Relieved? Artemis. It's just your father, guys. Well, father/uncle, but whatever. She gets extra when she has pack members around, sorry. Relieved? Like a greatsword's been lifted off my shoulders. Is she alright? Who would have thought that such a fearless warrior never learned how to swim? But I'm sure her newly found family will teach her. Eventually. Seems like the lone wolf is not so lonely after all. Kara definitely lives up to her Baba's heritage, even if she herself doesn't see it yet. Yes, though you might prefer to see for yourself. She and Dave left me their address to give you. Who? Ah, you know them. Right, got it. Only one person would fit such an uninspired name. They'd better have apologized to Melly, or... You'll have to find out the details for yourself. Just don't keep them waiting for too long. Don't need to tell me that. Fable isn't back yet, then? No. Sure are taking their time. Feel like looking for them yet? No, they're capable. Just my patience is starting to wear thin. You had some to begin with? You're pretty chatty for someone within greatsword distance. Right. Can I interest you in one of my drinks as well, Scully? With an offer like that, my friend, how can a skeleton say no? Perhaps something to enhance my aura? I would like to do the proclamation of this tale proper justice. Andu. Right. He's telling tales, so bards and rangers it is. Please, enjoy. Oh my! They say manners maketh the man, but this drink alone has invigorated me plenty. I can almost feel the warmth of flesh on my bones again. A pleasure to be of service? Our quest was confusing. Inspiring! My favorite flavor of quest. Not enough fighting, in my opinion. Felt like my muscles were wasting away on the way back here. But the most important muscle of all received a superb workout. The brain. Metaphorically for me, of course. I've been wondering about that, actually. No. We're not even going to get started on that topic. I do have to agree, my friend. Let's not get distracted. Though I would be delighted to share my theories with you, Innkeeper. Let me know when you have an hour to spare. Or 5. Now, back to the task at hand. We started by making our way westward, though our progress was slow. Any complications? Yes, quite a few! Before embarking on this journey, I was woefully ignorant about the plight of the Phasian farmers. The less than ideal weather conditions, the flood that ruined a lot of crops, and now this pesky undead problem. I was stricken with empathy for their struggle. The least we could have done was offer up our means of transportation for any soul looking for a better life further north. So, we switched carriages. 3 times. By the 3rd time, we had gotten so far off course, it took us a whole day just to get back on track. On foot. But once our hike was over, we did get to spend a wonderful afternoon with Dame Carolyn's cousin, Lady Danica. That was nice, I guess. The cousin with the undead snail problem, yes? Did you manage to liven up that garden for her? Sure did. Just had to sit out some cabbage to lead them somewhere we wouldn't be damaging any crops, and with just one magnificent strike! Truly a sight to behold. It was just some undead snails. No need to have gotten so excited. To match the excitement, Lady Danica served us some positively delightful cups of tea. Better than any accompanying figure sandwiches were some new facts I had gleaned from observing the snails. Even lacking souls, they still displayed some pack behavior. They acted nothing like real animals, of course, but somehow I was struck with empathy for their plight. To unconsciously seek out a manner of instinctual action. Despite the lack of anything to grant them a conscious objective. Is there a more transparent yearning for purpose than that? My apologies. It appears what they say about old age is true. You can't help but philosophize. And you couldn't help but relate. In a way. One can't help but wonder whether any choice I make is truly my own or just a post-mortem reflex of these old bones. Perhaps even my thirst for knowledge. And yet your enjoyment of it seems genuine. Truly, Innkeeper, you have a way with words. Just lots of experience. Though that may be, my worries seem rather foolish now. I can count myself as quite fortuitous that despite all of my memory lacks, I can delight in learning it all again. Does it really matter, then, where such an urge comes from? Anyhow, my apologies, Dame Carolyn. I completely derailed our epic tale. Allow me to make up for it by continuing post-haste. We departed after that lovely cup of tea and finally headed for the Pale Woods. Lady Denica provided us with a cart and a trusty steed, a cow with the most lovely temperament. Her name's Lesalate. I'm made sure to greet the gentleman that passed us on our way to the woods. What magnificent shadow armor he was wearing. Something about it felt oddly familiar. Perhaps it was only my hope that we would look just as gallant after our quest. Lesalate valiantly took us to the edge of the forest where maliciousness permeated the very air we breathed. What he means is, it stunk. Real bad. We left Lesalate there. Sparing her the stench seemed like the right thing to do. And forth we ventured. Didn't take a long time to find out what we were looking for. The place was crawling with them. Which also explained the fucking smell. For some reason, the miasma didn't seem to bother me much. Most respectfully, you don't have a nose. Oh, of course! Anyways, there was a veritable horde before us, an army of undead creatures shambling their way through the forest. One gnawed tree at a time. They were awfully interested in those trees, it's true. I was itching to tear into them. But remembering the plan, I stepped back with a hand to my greatsword. The crucial part of a successful negotiation is that you don't go into it blind. And so we observed. The undead creatures were displaying similar patterns to those snails. They weren't just stumbling around senselessly. They seemed to be following a pack leader. A representative that simplified things considerably. My first course of action was clear. I let Dame Caroline know of my intentions. Seemed reasonable enough. When I circled the group to get to the leader at the front, she remained hidden in the shadows of the thicket. I walked up to the leader, another skeleton, making sure I displayed an open and respectful disposition. I suppose they were not open and respectful in return? Nope. Before I could even react, the skeleton had bitten down on Skelly's arm. No, poor Skelly! Agony! Is what I would have said if I hadn't been protected by my frost armor and your extra drink mixing skills. Always glad to hear my drinks are protecting my clients on their quests. My friend, your drinks are astonishingly potent. Maybe too potent. As soon as the undead creature bit down, their teeth shattered upon impact. The leader recoiled immediately. All the others surrounding us froze. The leader fell to the ground, cradling their face with their hands. Curiously, when they regained composure, their expression was filled with joy. Still no idea how you can read an expression on a skull. They were actually quite expressive for a skeleton. They mostly express themselves through vibes. That sounds like some of your usual bullshit. But this time I'm almost willing to believe you. Excuse me, but what are exactly our vibes, my friend? Have fun explaining that one. I guess you can think of them as some kind of aura that someone gives off? Fascinating. That sounds quite powerful. Could one harvest them like magic? Let's get back to the story. The teeth chattering was quite worrying. It made me re-examine the bite marks on the trees around us. Peculiarly, the bite marks here were quite a bit more shallow than what we had seen in other parts of the forest. Which means all those undead creatures had severe dental issues. The leader was so happy because the frost armor's chill was dulling their pain. The others' teeth were also in truly poor condition. And looking at their behavior, that seemed to be causing them severe pain. Hydrate, sippy sippies. Sippy sippies. Coupled with a hunger for trees, it became a never-ending cycle of suffering. It should never have gotten so bad. I asked them why they hadn't reported the issue to their necromancer. It was clearly starting to impact the fulfillment of their objective. That got them really heated. They tried to rip Scully apart again. But Dame Carolyn skillfully resolved the situation with a bit of intimidation. It turns out they didn't even have dental! Carolyn? I'm with Scully on this one. They had no benefits. Nothing. They were just expected to be quiet and follow orders. That doesn't sound right to me. It's a scam, that's what it is. No sick leave, no compensation, no PTO. They didn't want to hear it. We're doing what we love. We don't need any fancy benefits. But you should have seen the state they were in. They couldn't even take a proper chomp out of the tree's outer bark anymore. What would happen when their teeth deteriorated even further? Their necromancer would replace them with another undead creature in a heartbeat. That was when Scully really got to him, I think. The words were just pouring out of my mouth, and I was elated they were the right ones. The light reflecting off the frost armor really dazzled him, too. Any skeleton worth their calcium should be able to acquire such armor. They needn't to be bound by a neglectful necromancer. My apologies. It appears that I somewhat lost my composure just now. You might soon be contacted to host the first UFU gathering, Innkeeper. Union for the Undead. UFU 1755. Never forget your roots. They're welcome to visit any time. I think they really want to improve their situation. Most respectably, they promised to leave the Pale Woods alone as well. One of UFU's goals is to find a more sustainable way to deal with their obsession, eventually. They're heading for their necromancer now. There are a bunch of demands to settle. They graced us with a great deal of parting gifts before we left. We got the helix that broke off of one of them when they attacked Dame Caroline. Their leader gave me the teeth we couldn't put back in their skull. Oh, and this eyeball! I'm overjoyed we managed to resolve our quest in a peaceful manner. Can't deny your resolution was pretty effective. Good to know you're both happy with how it ended. Those are the outcomes I most enjoy hearing about from my patrons. Oh! But we did get you something else as well, Innkeeper. Right. Here. The trees looked really chewed on and dead. But the berries seemed like they were thriving. They're the ones Elfie was going on about. Not like they're here to appreciate them now, so I guess you can have them. Just set them aside to make Fable a drink when they're back. Sounds fair. Let's see. Ghostberry. Ghostberries are nearly translucent and only grow deep within the moon swamp for a few months every year. They are safe to eat, but rather sour to the taste. They grant invisibility. Invisibility is the perfect aid for stealth quests as well as hunting. Very helpful for avoiding fights entirely. Also, while I was plucking the berries, the spirits of the tree gave us a little keepsake. Because they were so glad we stopped all that gnawing. Sadly, I don't have any more storage space left in my hat. So we wanted you to have it as well. Now we can always indulge in sweet memories whenever we visit. I think I know just the place for it. Thank you very much. I wish they gave you, like, a close-up of what... That would be my, like, one thing is, like, can I get a close-up of what each trinket is as I'm given it? Scully, you ever thought about becoming an advocate for this kind of stuff? Not that I can usually stand them, but you seem to really care about all this. Oh no, I'm but a mere heap of bones here to learn all I can. But it is a gentleman's way to speak out when evil is committed in front of you. So I don't suppose I will stop doing just that anytime soon. Sounds good to me. I still wonder what all those undead creatures were doing there. No idea. We didn't ask. Hunger? Seemed to be heading north before we talked to them. Maybe they were searching for more trees? The Pale Woods is one of the largest forests in Phasia. I don't see a reason for them to leave the area before it was barren. Unless they were ordered to. Don't they typically come with a necromancer attached? You don't suppose that gentleman we encountered outside the woods could have been that very necromancer? I don't think farmers wear armors like what you described. Oh, and if I had known what a dastardly, negligent necromancer they were, I never would have offered that greeting. Just realized where they could have been headed. It's true there aren't many woods around here that compare to the Pale Woods, but that giant root in the capital must look pretty good to some tree-obsessed undeads. There might be tons more headed there even now. Fuck, indeed. These undead can't seem to get enough fiber. What better tree to chomp down on than the Aether tree itself? What could possibly go wrong? Just to clarify, you believe hordes of undead creatures are marching towards the capital? I still don't see a new trinket. Maybe it's up by the candle where there's a dangler? Yeah, I really wish they would give you a picture of the trinket as you acquired it. Like a big close-up. Well, towards the roots would be my guess. I see. They're heading towards Themis to gnaw the divine roots, as if to fell the Aether tree? Precisely. Not that such an action alone could destroy the whole thing, but it would certainly do some damage. What in the f*** are you talking about? As I just stated, someone is trying to destroy the Aether tree. The star fell, the primordial flood, even the interplanar portals. It's all part of a big plot. Was that not clear? No. Oh my! That's awful! And insane, if true. Is it working? Unfortunately so. Or do you see stars in the night sky? I mean, there's one. There used to be more. And we don't know who's behind it yet either. Well, Carolyn, Mr. Scully, the gentle person you greeted outside of the woods, you thought that he might be a necromancer. He certainly bore the armor of one. Did he seem like he wanted to kill everyone? Not particularly, though it can be hard to tell sometimes. Politeness and the desire for homicide aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. Necromancers resurrect dead things to make undead creatures. Indeed they do. So, Scully, you were resurrected, right? Do you remember anything about it? Well, I admit, at first I recalled very little from the start of my new life. I mostly stumbled about trying to remember my manners. But my memories, or rather the memories of my body, which I suppose are also my memories, have been getting clearer lately. Let's see our new information unlocked about Scully. He's very interested in studying other undead since he came back conscious instead of being a lifeless puppet. He tried to strike up conversations with other zombies and even unionize with them. Now he is committed to fighting for better working and unliving conditions for the undead. Let me try to focus my thoughts. I believe I awakened in the archives, in the Everbloom. The Everbloom? Did you encounter any bleak stalkers? Why, I did indeed. They seemed very hungry for my bones. Such interesting creatures. They remind me of the old intellect wombats. Do those beasts still roam Phasia? No. What are intellect wombats? Priorities, Tia. Scully, who woke you up? Gentleman of fine age. I believe he was there to do research? I remember candles, held over notes scribbled on paper, ink stains on fingertips. He must have found me near my friend's study. I remember I was looking for her when... After I woke, I simply left. How rude and uninquisitive of me. I should have asked what he was researching. I could have helped. Be glad you did not aid him. We found his notes. They spoke of the destruction of the universe. Did the guy from the woods remind you of the one in the archives? Now that you mention it, I wasn't conscious enough to recognize faces when I rose, but I knew the armor looked familiar. I think I saw it when I first reopened my eyes. Metaphorically, of course, I no longer have eyelids. A necromancer is behind all of this? Is he trying to break the sigils just to get to Tuat, the spirit dragon, in the realm of death? Sigils? Are you perchance speaking of the sigils of Alcahest? My friend was researching them once. I always thought them a wild figment of her imagination. Seems like they're not, unfortunately. Do necromancers usually want to destroy Tuat? No, but they do defy his laws of life and death. Perhaps he craves access to all the souls the Spirit Garden Dragon guards. Or he plans to destroy death once and for all with his perversions. But my dears, to destroy Tuat, one must find him first. That in itself would be quite the impossible task, no? Not exactly. The spirit realm is well protected, but there are ways to get to him. Can you kill death? I don't know, but merely attempting it sounds disastrous. Miss Anwar, Mr. Moore, Tuat is the god of death. No matter how insane the necromancer, no one could possess a weapon powerful enough to fight a god. Only weapons made by dragons can harm them. We all know this. You mean like Ur's Great Axe? A weapon forged for the dragons by the dragons, meant only for their claws. The axe. It could certainly cut through the barrier between the astral sea and the upper world, if not through Tuat himself. Would stealing an axe from a dragon count as a sigil? Alright, y'all lost me again. I talked about this already. Keep up. I'll explain later. Humph. It might count as a sigil if it awakens or damages their plane. Should not be awakened under any circumstances. Nor should their legendary weapon fall into the hands of a mere mortal. My, this is quite concerning. I'm right there with you. This seems like too insane of a plot. Even for some big bad evil guy. What do I have for rumors so far? Kaelin's great sword once belonged. Allegedly, it's a gift from the dragons themselves. They always seem to be reaching for new heights in their dastardly schemes. If we are correct, this one plans to steal Ur's weapon, break their sigil, and then destroy Tuat. Dragons be with us. What about the undead creatures marching towards the capital? They must be a distraction, a way to keep anyone who would interfere off his back. Quite the dangerous distraction, if you ask me. Those poor husks shouldn't be snacking away at those roots either way, should they? No. And those sigils of alcohol zest you keep talking about, what could do what? Destroy the tree? Just unlocked in your room. The undead marching to the capital are a mere distraction. Unfortunately, that does not make them any less dangerous. The spirit realm rests above all others in the canopy of our world. If what we believe to be this monster's plans succeed, it will collapse down onto the rest of the Aether Tree. Not only would that free all dead souls, it would destroy the tree, our home, our cosmos, and everything below it. It would destroy our world as we know it. Not to mention, Tuat might die. I don't think I have to explain to you why death dying would be a bad thing. Another rumor. The enemy aims for the destruction of the Aether Tree. He needs the great axe of Ur to collapse the spirit realm onto the rest of the tree. Once again, can he die? Wouldn't risk it. Though I believe this plot of his to be limited somewhat, no? Perhaps to the transitional period between the astral moon and the dying moon? Only then would the veil between Cassiopeia and Tuat be thin enough for a ritual of such magnitude to succeed. Wait, what you mean is this can only happen the night between the 35th of Cassiopeia and the 1st of Tuat? So it can only work in 4 days, or next year? Precisely. I guess you can't have a ritual without unnecessarily complicated rules. It is common courtesy. Clay, I've been wondering, remember that Wayan we saw on our way back near Merrow Castle? Yes! Do you think he might have been the same guy? I do. Strange armor sounds familiar, as does the convenient proximity to destruction. And more so, that blood of the first vampire Kyle spoke of. Part of the ritual to safely traverse the astral sea involves having an associated anchor for your destination. To find Tuat, you need something connected to him. Like the blood of a vampire eternally bound to him? Yes. Maybe our villain got his hands on it. Perhaps he knows more of Cassiopeia than I anticipated. All of this out-of-context bullshit is giving me a headache. Inkeep, got another drink to spare to help with all this mess? Something powerful enough to get me through this? Anything for you, Care. This is a long day. This might be my only day. Da, 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 da. No, I think she needs a little bit more. I think we're gonna go with cursed coffee. I put all the strength I have into this drink. Enjoy. I think you just put parts of my sanity back together. Thanks a lot. Anytime. So, this madman, if he can't get the axe, he can't kill the spirit dragon, right? Correct. Great. Let's stop him from getting the axe then. Great idea. I know. Now, how do we do that? Well, first the necromancer needs to find it. For that, he'd have to get to Ur's realm. Thanks to the portals, this is entirely within the realm of possibility. One would simply have to journey through one of the portals to the Twilight Chasm. And then enter the Endless Caves through the Nightmare Realm. Nothing easier than that. Didn't Melly see some weird bone way markers near the Twilight Chasm portal in the Moon Swamps? Could they be there to remind someone, say a necromancer, of the way to the portal? They could. Good. The moon poles are much easier to reach than Boreas. We should catch the necromancer before he ventures into the chasm, and most certainly before he gets the axe. Great. Let's go beat his Hold on. What if you don't succeed? I have faith in you, but... He sounds powerful. How about a backup plan? Hate to say it, but you're not wrong. Thanks for looking out for us. If we don't manage to stop him from getting the weapon, we stand no chance in a fight against him. Even your divine strikes would be no match, Miss Anwa. That is true. We would need an incredibly powerful weapon to match his. Not sure if it's enough, but I do have the sword I got from my Baba. Let me see it. This is remarkable craftsmanship, infused with minor divine powers. Incredible. But I'm afraid even this cannot rival the Great Axe in any capacity. What if it was mixed with dragonfire? What? Do you happen... Do you happen to have such a thing on hand, young lad? No, but I know where we can find some. The ever-burning flame in the Highlands is dragonfire. The one you wanted to see, Tia. I think now might be a good time for that. You're right. Dragonfire merged with Carolyn's blessed sword. It wouldn't be as powerful as the axe, but it might give him a fighting chance. If we had a master craftsman to forge it, that is. Rhea, she's a blacksmith. It would be great for her competition, for sure. Yeah, my sword would get her first place, no question. I'll make sure to bring that up while trying to convince her. Thanks for the idea. Very well. I'm sure Master Smith Rosgrit will be delighted with this opportunity. Having her on our side makes me even more confident that we can stop this necromancer's plans. I have the utmost faith in us. And I know the aperture and its astral portal are well protected even if we should fail. Though I don't believe we will, because I know I'm strong enough to best this battle, and that Clay is as well. And the others too. Yes, the others too. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if the four of you will be enough. Don't worry, there's a lot of people we can ask for help. Like you. Like me? Ask away. I knew we could count on you. You can collect everything we talk about, right? I try my best. Could you write us up 2 quests for all of this? I think we should split our resources so we get the backup plan going at the same time. Good idea, young man. Plus, that'll give us an excuse to have your drinks help us. Not that you need an excuse, but I appreciate you following my rituals. I'll see what I can do. I should have something written up first thing in the morning. I trust in you as you trust in us. Deeply? Yes. Deeply, and with the knowledge that we are stronger together. We'll see you in the morning, then. Carolyn, come with us. We owe you a few explanations before we make you do any persuasion work for us. You got that right. Let's go. I could not miss out on more possible details. I shall see you in the morning, Innkeep. Thank you for all your help. Let's save the world, alright? Let's, Clay. Good luck. I thought I had a third quest here. But apparently not. Only a weapon forged in dragonfire could ever dream to hold up against the legendary Great Axe of Ur. Luckily, a temple in the Highlands houses the ever-burning flame, an ancient gift from the dragons that'll come in handy right about now. And what better sword to reshape with this flame than another gift from the Realm Keepers, an heirloom passed down to Carolyn with heroism scorched into its very essence. Oh, I do! Okay, good. The Dead Parade. A horde of undead is approaching the capital. Their insatiable hunger for the local flora leads them to the exposed roots of the Aether Tree, and therefore to the capital of Themis, since it lies nestled in the safety of the roots. This is a mere distraction, so the necromancer can fulfill his true plan, but the undead still must be stopped before they hunger for flesh once more. The Twilight Chase. World calamity is imminent, but there is one last way to save it. The only weapon strong enough to harm Twat and the Aether Tree is the legendary Great Axe of Ur, and the personification of evil wants it desperately. But first, he must make it through the Twilight Chasm, and for that, he needs a portal. Sounds like a good location to stop him, right? PET ANDU. Sweep the floor. Stretch. Ugh. Man, that was a long day. Hour and a half. Hmm. Trying to decide if I go to another day or call it for now. Because I'm still kind of recovering from the mess that was Monday slash these past 2 weeks. Both good and bad things happened these past 2 weeks, but both of them drained me. I think I'm gonna call it for now. I might do some spontaneous streams. Some of them might be really late at night. Some of them might be really early in the day. I don't know. They will be not this game because this game is typically my Thursday game. So I have a couple games lined up. I have like Little Kitty Big City that I'm really interested in playing, and a couple of other games. So I appreciate everyone who came tonight, and I love you, and I love you, Ken, and I love you, Lumi, and I love you, Josh, even though you're lurking. And I had a wonderful time, and I will see y'all at either the next stream or next Thursday. Love you.